I couldn't do it. I mean, I left my house today. That was the goal for the weekend, to leave my house. But I couldn't go, I couldn't be a part of. The protests. I love that people are protesting, and I'm grateful to them, but I'm so fucking afraid right now of everything that I could not bring myself to go. I went instead to the ocean to ask for protection for my family. And the ocean is, in some sense, in a tradition I was gifted. She's my mother. In addition to Helen Benson, who is my mother, I have the ocean to be my mother. And so I went to her to say, can you look out for everybody? And I listened, I went and looked at the ice plant, which is that invasive species that's not supposed to be here. Kind of like us, kind of like colonialism gone wrong, which is what is happening. What is really finally happening in such a way that, people are taking to the streets. But people wanted to have an action that would call assembly and connection and togetherness and response. Please, a human response. And now those people who are protesting have been met with the boogaloo. How do you even? I'm laughing because if I weren't laughing, I'd be crying. I can't hold it in my body anymore. The rage. And I'm grateful I felt it all the way through and made a choice to pull back the vision and remember that it's all of us who are here, who are supposed to be sharing this world that we're in. All of us. And the creepy boogaloo is part of the all of us that has to come to some space of love and compassion, truth and reconciliation. That is the game in this moment now. And there has to be hard truth, and we have to sit in circle, and we have to listen to it. We have to listen to every single wrong for every single person, every black person, every native person, every Latin person, every Chinese person, every Asian person, every human person who has, every woman, every man, everyone who has wronged, who has ancestors who have wronged each other and who are wronging each other still. We have to tell the truths. And we have to sit still and listen, and we have to cry all the tears, and we have to yell all the yells, and we have to scream all the screams, and we have to bring ourselves to a table of healing, the circle of healing, bearing witness and healing. I understand rage, and I've never understood fear like I understand it now. I was on the beach harvesting the driftwood, and I always leave bits of myself. Gail Wiseman taught me that. When I accept a gift from the earth, I leave a gift from my being. So I'm tearing my hair as I pick up the sticks and leaving that for birds who will put it in their nests or whatever it's good for in the world. I don't know. And I was driving back, and I happened to look at my phone like I do, and my son was live. He had gone live on Instagram, and he's in the streets in New York. And he's marching in the streets of New York with all the other people who are marching in the streets of New York today. And it's shocking to me because he's been so afraid of COVID, but there are things that call you out into the world, into the wider world, that says I must be my part of standing up to say no more. No more dead men under blue knees. My cousin is a police officer in the city of Chicago, and his wife is praying for his safety tonight. And I am praying for my cousin, and I am praying for my son, and I'm praying for my son, and I am praying for my daughter, and I am praying for Black Lives That Matter. And I am praying to the sun and the moon and the earth and the stars and the sky and the space that we somehow NASA shot a rocket into space today while America blew up its cities. While Trump trumpeted for his boogaloo to arrive and begin the race war that promises to finish something in this America. To finish something in this America. To finish something. My friend Brian says there's racism in France too. All around the world there's this resurgence of creepy white people being creepier than they have ever been, maybe. Which is saying something. How do you do that? That's quite an accomplishment. White people have been creepy for a very, 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 very long time. And some white people have found their way around race issues to become allies, to sit still long enough to listen, to hear their part, their ancestral part in this story, and to figure out how to take care of their own stuff so that they can be present for the people in the skin who are feeling the hurt. It can't be about my rage. It has to be about my children getting to stay alive on the planet. I'm in this little hut for Kuan Yin out of sticks I collected from the ocean and the forest. And tomorrow I will try and weave, weft and weave between what is alive and what is dead. What is alive is an angry spirit that requires justice, that requires acknowledgement, that requires a true truth, a recognition, a saying of the names, an honoring of the lives, and a dismantling of systemic racism. I don't know how we do that. Today is a beginning of an end of something that must end. Today is a beginning of an end of something that must end. The experiment of America is over. And what it was today, it can never be again. What it was in these 4 years coming up on re-election, we have devastated every social advance and every advance for the earth and every understanding of science. All of this is lost. In the cruelties of this administration. So many atrocities to name, to recognize, to hold people accountable for. It's revolution time. Talking about a revolution. Sounds like a whisper. Blessings on your courage.